And starting to the top left of Belcher Vestige, we have the Terran player. First takes all it is.
Grandmaster, STXO Innovation.
A Grandmaster.
Innovation 2-0'd Byung in the group, and he also 2-0'd Flash. Starting at the bottom right is his current opponent, Terran player for Team Startail.
Master, Startail Bomber.
Bomber lost one map against Byung, but he took out Flash without any problems at all. Very interesting builds that he used there. Let's see what's going on in this particular game. An early SCV being sent out by the Startail player.
Yeah, no gas, so looks to be a proxy barracks, but not necessarily Reapers. He hasn't taken his gas yet, still can, but it looks more likely to just be a pressure play here. If he sends a second SCV out, we'll all know what that means.
Yeah, exactly, but so far no second SCV is on the move. The first one is moving in right now and just waiting and dropping the barracks immediately at exactly the same time as this Innovation gets his own.
So this looks more like that he's just going to try to pressure and bunker a potential command center first. We've seen players do contains like this against CC first, when the CC first is on the high ground, even just keep a bunker at the bottom, make it hard for the player to actually move down and take the low ground. He has a gas follow-up though, so this could be several different things.
Oh wow, the SCV of Innovation goes down to the left side and does not scout that barracks. That was so close.
Yeah. So it looks like it could be, there's a lot of different ways he could do this. He could go for Reaper after his first Marine. He could go for a factory even very forward and do Widow Mine push. I don't think we'll see that. I don't think anyone's done that just yet. Or he could do a Marauder all-in, which is Wings of Liberty-esque. We don't really see that anymore, but it's very strong.
Yeah, Marauder aggression. We actually saw that Flash did that.
Yes.
I think it was actually against Innovation. That was a it was a little bit of a silly game where both of them just proxied each other, and that's ended up in a very interesting scenario. But now that we have Innovation in the main base of his opponent, he already knows that there is no barracks, and that indicates to him, of course, that there is a proxy on the map.
Yeah. He knows what's up. He starts a bunker immediately. No hesitations here. He does not see the barracks. The bunker is on the low ground, interestingly enough, and this means that he could pick off that SCV with his first Marauder, and this could be a problem. The further the bunker is away from the mineral line, the harder it is to complete it, because if you don't have the SCVs nearby, it's obviously much more difficult.
Marauder comes in, doesn't have the concussive shell just yet. The second one is being built, tries to take down those Marines already. One of them down, the second one being attacked, but we have the bunker done.
The bunker is done. Now Bomber has to transition, because this is not going to end the game, not even close. He's forced a bunker which costs money, and he will be able to salvage most of that money back, but this affects his build because he can't access those minerals right now. But Innovation could be very happy with this. He takes an early lead, and he's already got his tech much further ahead.
Yeah, the one thing on the other hand that we have for Bomb a little bit faster is of course the command center now on the low ground, and this is one of the slight advantages that he has here. But Innovation dealt with this very well.
Yeah. And Innovation now just needs to make sure that he does one thing, make sure that he can make up for the fact that his command center is a little bit delayed. With all the tech that he has, he can easily do some damage here. With the tech lab going up while the Banshees, or rather while the starport's going up, it looks like we could very well see Banshees from Innovation. It's a great way to counter what Bomber's done, but such a smart floating barracks scout by Bomber. He will know what's coming.
Yeah, the scouting barracks, those guys are even faster than the Overlords, by the way. So
yeah,
that's always a little bit funny to see those scouting barracks, and he is just trying to make sure it's happening. He's trying to cover the spot, actually. He's trying to get into position. He stays there as long as possible, trying to delay that, and that is actually really, really awesome. Look at that. He's just standing there, and he's like, okay, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. Nah, that was close.
That was pretty interesting, for sure. But the cloak is scouted here.
In case you can actually steal a tech lab. I mean, of course, you can re-steal it later on. But if there is a tech lab or a reactor on the map and you just put one of your own buildings next to it, you will actually take control of that set add-on.
There was a famous base race game where somebody actually won the game with a steal on the thing with their barracks to kill it. I can't remember what it was on Wings of Liberty. It was a long time ago, but you can take control of it in Research STEM, for example. Very rare occurrence, more so of like a campaign type mechanic, but it does work in multiplayer as well.
The barracks is about to burn down, and I think he sent out an SCV to repair it. Yes, there it is, and just catches it barely in time to make that happen. But now that we have a little bit more time, let's just go through the statistics just for a second.
I just want to point out one more thing. After the barracks left, he canceled the Banshee and the Cloak, so Bomber's still under the impression that Cloak is being researched, but it's actually just Innovation going into a Raven.
Exactly. We have a Raven play now for Innovation. Bomber is getting those missile turrets regardless. But yeah, let's have a little bit of a look at the results, because I really want to go over Bomber's TVT a little bit. Bomber played 14 Terran versus Terran maps in Heart of the Swamp offline, and he won 12 of them, which leaves him at an 86% win ratio against opponents like Flash, Byung, Keen, Tasia, 1-star, and then he played another best of 5 against Tasia that he won without even dropping a single map. Innovation doesn't have such a good record, but he has a lot more games played. 29 in total, and he won 20 of those maps. So this leaves him with 69% win ratio. Pretty crazy statistics for both of them in a Terran versus Terran, but especially for Bomber, who has 86% here. So currently Innovation, the one who's trying to apply a little bit more pressure with those tanks that he already has on the map. But I really hope that we're going to see a 3-map series here.
Yeah, well, it's entirely possible. I like Innovation's position here quite a lot. He's moving out with a large army, and this is something that Bomber may not be able to defend, because at his natural, he has a turret, because he expects Banshee. He has one in his main base as well. He also has a Widow Mine. Otherwise, there's really virtually no defense for Bomber. He has very few units at all. The army supply right now is 34 to 23, and he's got those tanks.
I'm a little bit disappointed that he did not try to target with the Widow Mine here. Widow Mine gets taken out in the end thanks to the Raven, who of course has the detection here. But Bomber could have hit a lot of those Marines.
His barracks will go down. Nice Starset Micro here from Innovation. Bomber, he's got his own double siege tank production out, and in fact, if he gets the second and third siege tank out, he may be able to hold this. The position here, though, for Innovation is very good.
Yeah, Innovation is now trying to get into that spot. He's already taking control of the ramp, and that's very important here. The Widow Mines at the front are being attacked, the detection being granted here. Widow Mines move back immediately, but Bomber has to be careful here. As you already said, the position here for Innovation is good, but the siege tanks are not there for Bomber. He has one at the front, and he has that bunker.
He made 2 siege tanks at a time. This gives him a great spot, and a big mistake by Innovation actually moving the siege tank too far forward.
Bomber has to repair, and here comes
Seeker Missile.
Seeker Missile, but 2 additional siege tanks are not there.
Yeah, that was probably could have targeted a better siege tank with that one too. But still, Innovation moves forward. Not a lot to defend here. Like I said before, only the tanks.
Yeah, the tanks don't. Yeah, well, they get one shot off against the Marines. And both of them are getting additional bases behind this.
The next Seeker Missile is going to be really important, because when he has enough energy for that, he can pick off another one of the siege tanks. The angle for Innovation is really nice here. I like this.
In a second, he will actually have the lead in Vikings, and he can already move in if he starts to repair. And there comes the point defense drone. Really well. Takes down the Raven, or at least tries to not... is he actually able to pull that off? Not quite. But the drop in the main base.
Drop in the main base. Some good siege tank shots from both players. Innovation really trying to force his way in, but Bomber's defense is solid. It's stellar here. And he has the faster third command center. He's also going into Mech, as you can see, getting the Blue Flame upgrade. Blue
Flame upgrade for him, and Innovation is just moving back at this point. It was a really nice attack, but Bomber was ready with his own siege tanks, and he is now suddenly in a huge lead in the CV supply.
Yeah.
Exactly, he is at 57 against 43, getting also his armor here. So really decent position for Bomber. He might be able to establish himself that third base much faster than Innovation and just capitalize on that economy advantage.
Yeah. It's entirely possible here, because Innovation doesn't really seem like he has very many options. He doesn't have the command center at the right time. He doesn't have the ability to pressure Bomber anymore. One thing he could do is just try to take his third base faster, because he knows that Bomber's army is a mech composition that's slower and less mobile, and it might be easier for him to defend his third base against run-bys.
Oh, he already takes the refiner here with the gas very, very early, and of course, since he goes into Mech, he wants to have that extra gas. Innovation is still roaming the map here. Bomber with an additional scan to the top, but also Innovation having a quick look into the main base of Bomber, getting a glimpse there of what's going on. The Blue Flame upgrade is nearly completed, and Innovation so far doesn't really pressure Bomber anymore. He's trying to get his own third base, but Bomber is a little bit faster, especially with the gas.
Yeah, especially with the gas. Bomber in a really, really good spot here, and Innovation looks like he looks a little bit lost, trying to figure out exactly how to get an advantage here. His timing was supposed to do a significant amount of damage. It did very little because Bomber's defense was so good. And now he's just in between a rock and a hard place. He can't just sit back and try to catch up, because that's not how StarCraft works. You know, you lose time, you can't just make it up later. And also he can't attack here, because if he does, first of all, there's a sensor tower here now, but if he attacks into Bomber's mech army that's good defensively with all the siege tanks he has, he's not going to trade efficiently, and the Bomber gets even further ahead.
Yeah. The third base for Bomber is pretty safe at this point, and with the sensor turret, he's going to see those units a mile away. He, of course, reveals that he has a third base on his own, but this is just to be expected. Innovation is, at this point, of course, assuming that there is a third for Bomber too. And the Armory is now just coming into play for Innovation. He wants to go into his second set of bio upgrades. 1-1 is already on the production tab. But with the Blue Flame upgrade, especially those Hellbats are going to be really strong for Bomber. He mentioned after the patch that he feels that Hellbats without the upgrade are not really all too useful. But as long as you have that upgrade, you can really drop on your opponent's bio army. We saw Innovation take out Alive in one of the WCS final games at Season 1 without losing a single unit. So if you get those Medivacs in there with the drop on top of the bio army, then you can do so much damage once you have the Hellbats with this upgrade.
It also looks really cool.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to point that out, as you can see here. And Innovation is trying to find an angle, but as long as Bomber continues to be map present and map aware, as he always is with all of his Marines around the map spotting these things, he should be able to get himself into a better defensive position early. This Command Center is a little bit exposed though. Yeah. Maybe Innovation can pick that off. That would be one small step because he is trying to get his own base up during this.
Here comes the scan, the siege tanks in position, the rest of the units immediately moving forward. Those tanks for Innovation trying to siege up here, and Bomber has to back off, at least for now. Both of them going stealth for the Seeker missiles, and we have those Vikings trying to take charge of the air battle.
Nice Seeker missiles there by Bomber, taking out 2 siege tanks. And he's already defended here.
Innovation is falling farther and farther behind in the overall supply, and we have a Hellbat job to the top right, not doing too much damage here, only taking down 3 SCVs in total.
Yeah.
But Innovation is trying to get a 4th base now, and if he gets that up, that would actually help him quite a bit in the long run.
Yeah, he's going to get that one up first, it looks like. And if he can do that, maybe he gets the economy. But remember, Mech is the better composition overall. It's the more cost-efficient one. Obviously, there is exceptions. If you can get a good flank, if you can catch your opponent unsieged, if you can drop in his main base and he's out of position and he's too slow, like what may happen here.
There's one siege tank, another one is just leaving the main base, being sieged up here and is supported by a few Hellbats. But Bomber is moving out into the middle of the map. He has a double armory now for double upgrades and 3 command centers rallied up. Here comes the drop that
on
I
the main
talked
army
about earlier.
But he loses 2 of the Medivacs.
Loses 2 of the Medivacs, but takes down the Medivacs of his opponent as well.
Yes, and Innovation is really trying to abuse the immobility of his opponent's army. He runs in again. He split his forces. One goes towards the 3rd base location that's empty right now. The other one, he thought about going for the attack, but the sensor tower just makes him so hesitant.
Yeah, both of them are about to be maxed out in supply here, but we have a huge bank in minerals already for Bomber. The question, of course, is always, is he able to get the gas out that he needs? And he doesn't spot that 4th base just yet. It's not well saturated for Innovation, and Bomber, of course, has his own additional command centers already built, but he needs to get them into position and take the refineries.
Yeah. Innovation, just such a strong position here with his army and his economy, but Bomber's got the better composition. He has, I mean, I'll just read it out to you. He has 17 siege tanks, 18 Hellbats. For some reason, 1 Marauder. I guess that might be the Marauder from his proxy earlier. He also has the Raven. He has more SCVs. And Innovation, though,
has to be really careful. He has so many siege tanks.
So many siege tanks. The Raven also helping out quite a bit, but this is not all of Bomber's tanks together, so Innovation may just break through here. The Vikings in the air, not really useful in a fight.
The rest of the army is now moving in, but already a little bit too late. He's trying to drop again, but he rescues the Hellbats for now. So many tanks just went down there. Innovation was just willing to sacrifice a lot of his army to move in and take down the tanks, and he got the better deal.
He knows that he has his 4th base up faster. He's also adding a lot of production right now, and he's using the mobility of his army. That's the one thing that Mech really does not have. Mobility, it's its weakness, and Innovation is trying to utilize that, but there are double sensor towers up now. The sensor tower at the bottom left is going to spot anything and everything that Innovation sends. Here we go. I don't know if he should go for this. There's way too many tanks up there.
Yeah, and he's very clustered up going up to the choke points, so the splash damage of the siege tanks is getting the maximum amount here. 3-3 now being started for Innovation, trying to add that another set of upgrades. Bomber is going into +2 plating for his siege tanks and his Mech army.
So it also goes for his Medivacs.
Yeah, so let's see what exactly he can pull over this. +3 attack also now being started.
And the plating, just I like that a lot. It helps the Medivacs, it helps the Vikings, even the Ravens, anything in the air and on the ground for his Mech composition. And Innovation lost a lot of his Medivacs in that last fight due to the Vikings, so he has to remake those. That costs him a lot of gas. That's part of the reason why his 3-3 was so delayed, is because he needs all this gas for his Medivacs. And here we go.
Marauders once again trying to move in. He scans ahead and he sees those siege tanks, but there are only 2 of them.
He's going for it.
He's just going for it, but the rest of the army is already there, and here comes once again this drop.
The drop right on top of the units, and he targeted the command center that wasted a lot of his firepower.
Is he able to repair it? He immediately sends those SCVs over, and Bomber saves it. And look at the supply. Once again, the lead here for Bomber, and Innovation is running out of resources, where Bomber is building up a huge bank.
Innovation is doing something I really like. It's quite ballsy, but if you look carefully, you can see that at the 8 o'clock expansion, he has a command center building there. This gives him a place where he can mine from and defend while also attacking Bomber very close by. So I like that a lot. And it's a risk. He very well might lose it, but it's a good idea. You've got to take risks like this when you're behind. It's
definitely a good idea, but this bank is really worrying me a little bit from Innovation's perspective. He needs to make something happen here. If Bomber has free reign and moves across the map, he might be able to just end this game potentially, or at least force Innovation in a very defensive position. The 3-3 upgrades, on the other hand, as soon as they come out for the STX Soul Terran player, he can just start really dropping a lot more than he already did. And he's moving in again at the right side of the map, trying to take down those siege tanks. That's not a lot of defense.
Not a lot of defense at all, but he is walking right into a turret, and here come those Hellbats on the drop.
Oh, he's dropping once again. The planetary has already been taken out, and Bomber is starting to lift his own orbital and moving back.
Innovation he's doing it. He's breaking through here. He's taken out the Mech army. He's forced the orbital to lift.
To the left side of the map, we have the space of Innovation being taken out, but yes, to the right, the Terran player of STX Soul did so much damage already, and the bank is gone, and now the mobility is being used by Innovation. Drop into the main base.
Drop into the main base.
All of the tech and the production is.
All the tech, all the production, the reactors here especially under fire. Going to lose a lot of his ability to make medevacs, make Vikings, whatever he needs. He's going to actually potentially lose his armories as well. Engineering bay right now under fire, researching building plating for his planetaries.
Is he getting that upgrade? He's trying to take down the armory, and the upgrade is not coming into play.
Gets it there, and also some siege tanks being taken out here. A great trade for Innovation.
And suddenly the bank that Bomber had is gone. He was in such a good position economy-wise, but now he's not anymore since the base to the right side of the map is gone.
Catching some units for free.
Moving into the middle of the map once again, and as you already said, a couple of stray units just being taken out right away.
And he's going to catch half of Bomber's army out of position. He doesn't have his whole army, though. He can't engage this straight up. There's too many Hellbats to buffer. But Innovation is just playing the macro game to its fullest. He's taking so many bases all over the map.
Income so much better for him.
Yeah, a lot.
Bomber had the lead in the income, but with Innovation just dropping bases everywhere on the map, he is getting into a significant lead, and the longer that he can draw this out, the bigger the bank he's gonna have. Bomber is already building up his own, and they are both nearing 200 supply again. Bomber actually just hit it too, but now he has to bring himself into a good position against his opponent. He's catching that army to the left side of the map.
Catching the army over here. Siege tanks actually having to chase here, stutter stepping a little bit. The Vikings also going down for those medevacs. Innovation may go for a drop in the main base. He has a large army here, and he has the medevacs to support. Holding this base is going to be an entirely different story.
Yeah, I don't think that he can make this happen. If those units walk up the ramp, they will be immediately in the siege tank range, and a couple of tanks that were left behind already taking care of the reinforcements. At least a little bit of a warning system. They cancel, and I don't think the planetary is going to survive here.
Doesn't look like it. It goes down, but he still has the base to the right side, and Bomber under fire himself by a group of Marauders. He does repair, though. Should be able to save this as he is sending his Vikings over.
Yeah, and he repairs immediately. The planetary is taking down all of those units, and the medevacs have to be oh so careful. Here comes the Mule Hammer, dropping it immediately to get that additional income, since Bomber now doesn't have the bank anymore. But he's at 200 supply against 180.
Look at Innovation's bank, though. He is going to be able to remax relatively easily with this. Just needs to make sure he hits all of his production cycles here, and he will remax, and he still has the better bank. He's trying to trade more cost efficiently here. The tanks a little bit late on the siege here, but I don't think Innovation can really break through this. I don't see it.
The Hellbats are moving in and forcing Innovation back now that the siege tanks are also sieged up and dishing out the damage, and now he is once again down in supply. This is suddenly the position on the map that Bomber wanted from the beginning.
Yes.
He's moving onto the map, and he's forcing Innovation back and in a very defensive spot.
Exactly. This is the first time this game where Innovation has not been forcing engagements. This is the first time this game where Innovation is on the run. Usually it's Bomber trying to fix things, trying to stop Innovation from attacking him on all sides. Now it's Bomber. He's the one who's attacking. He's going to take out this base.
Sieging up tanks at the planetary. Here comes Innovation with his force. The repair is on, and Innovation immediately backing off while losing another base to the right side of the map. Exactly, 2 command centers. And this is just Bomber slowly and steadily just taking control not only of the entire map, but also of all the mining bases of his opponent.
Yeah. Right now, Bomber is playing a chess game, essentially. He is just taking control of the map, moving his pieces slowly but steadily. And, you know, Innovation, he can't afford to trade pieces.
Yeah. The scans everywhere for both players, trying to find out where the army is positioned and to find out when another attack is moving in. This is exactly what he finds out here, but the siege tanks are not in siege mode. And at the front, we have those Hellbats trying to buffer a little bit for the siege tanks, but they are attacked from 2 sides, and all of them are being taken out.
A lot of these Vikings for Bomber are just eating up supply for him and not really participating in the fights. He needs to be using those to get rid of medevacs, and I worry for Barn because this is the first engagement that Innovation has taken wholeheartedly, and this allows him to remake his bases and also start taking some more map control away from Bomber.
Innovation going into the Cloak upgrade right now, and if he gets Cloak and Banshees, that is so good against this Mech army once he takes control of the air. So this is something that can really give him the game.
Yeah, he killed all those Vikings and he knows it. There's a lot of Ravens on the map, on the other hand, which will, of course, detect this.
Yeah.
Look at all the upgrades he's getting. He's getting ship weapons for his Banshees. He's getting the plating for his buildings. High-sec auto-tracking.
Wolf, with all those mining bases already down for Innovation, if that left side base is taken out, his mining will be restricted to the one that he's trying to establish to the right side of the map, whereas Bomber still has 2 mining bases. But here we go, the first 2 Banshees are starting to dish out damage, and as you already said, there are not a lot of Vikings left.
Yeah. And now he's starting Widow Mines and Thors at home. He's so desperate here, even starting 5 missile turrets. Banshee's going to do a lot of work here, giving him total control over the zone of the map. While Innovation goes in with another stim here. There's a lot of siege tanks on the high ground, though. He cannot break through.
Yeah, a little bit too overeager here, getting himself a bloody nose and then backing off. But this Banshee transition is very dangerous for Bomber. That's why we see those anti-air units. And with all the Vikings, he immediately snipes the Raven. No problem whatsoever. Siege tanks trying to guard that planetary fortress, and Innovation once again took control of the map.
He took control of the map, and he's starting to pick away at these siege tanks with his Banshees. He has total map control now. He's killing SCVs. He's cutting these units off away from the third base, and if Innovation could just find a pocket, that would be great for him. He's getting a fusion core, he's going into battle cruisers, and during all of this, he can remake his bases. He took the base to the top right again. He's taking another command center, and very likely will start one over on the left side again as well. He's getting away from the Widow Mines.
After tank is being taken down here. Now the Thors come into play. Drilling Claws also being researched now here, that he wants to rely a little bit more on the Widow Mines. And this is just such an incredible battle, just looking at this game, 30 minutes in, and it's still either game to take. I mean, we have both of them with a bank in minerals, the gas much better for Innovation, but both of them at 200 supply.
Yeah. Bomber never able to complete his upgrades because he had to remake his siege tank so often his gas count is so low. He also lost his armories earlier, so his upgrades are behind.
Here come the Seeker missiles, and he's moving in with them.
The Vikings taking way too much damage here. It's really going to hurt his battlecruiser transition.
Great hit against those Vikings. That was so important, but another army is to the left side and only 2 siege tanks. Can he really stop this? They repair immediately, but so much DPS.
So much DPS here. The planetary looks like it will fall, and so will many of these SCVs now the division is broken through. Bomber coming home right now very quickly with his army, but it's a bit too late.
Yeah, a little bit too late indeed, and the drop into the main base. He's amazing. This is exactly what he needed, the mobility of the Bioterran.
He's going to be able to do so much damage there on the main base, taking out add-ons and structures. Bomber looks like he's going for a big push here. He realizes that turning around not really an option for him. 2 battlecruisers are already on the way, 2 additional tech labs to put him up to 4 battlecruisers at a time production, but Bomber has triple the army supply nearly.
Exactly, he's at 150 against 62. He has the lower SCV count. The army supply is so huge for Bomber, and he's trying to put it to some use. We have the transition into the battle cruisers, but there are none on the map so far. And to the right side, we have the only mining base for Innovation, and it's going to be under attack in just a few seconds. Bomber has a 60 supply lead in the game.
He has a huge lead, and Innovation is just trying to buy time at this point because he knows that if he has those battle cruisers up, just maybe he can control the air. He has 4 Vikings to 2, but there are 2 Thors on the ground as well.
Yeah, and there comes another Thor already moving in, and I don't know if he can really make that happen, but Innovation, he's certainly trying. Bomber is taking another base to the right side of the map, and he's still mining from the bottom left and the left center map position. So at this point, it really looks like Bomber might be able to take this game.
Innovation does not have really any upgrades for his battlecruisers. He only has +1 attack, and if he loses this Bioforce, then even battlecruisers are going to take too long to kill this army. Battlecruisers doing a lot of damage here, though, and Bomber, he has to figure out exactly how he wants to handle this right now. Starts 9 Widow Mines at home. Widow Mines can actually kill battlecruisers if you micro them correctly.
Yeah, he's getting the Widow Mines, and he's trying to push his opponent's army back. If he can take down those units, the last few Marauders that we have, then he only has to deal with those battlecruisers. But right now, we still have a 60 supply lead for Bomber, and he also has such a huge bank in minerals. He's walking across the map right now with a few Vikings. He has those Thors that we talked about earlier. This is such an intense game.
Yeah.
He can't land those orbitals to the right side of the map because of the Widow Mines.
Exactly. Innovation is dropping down in supply. He doesn't have an income at all. He has almost no income, literally. He's got a few SCVs mining right now. less than 150 minerals per minute income versus Bomber having nearly 1,000.
Bomber has bases to the left and to the right side of the map. He's going into additional Thors. He's getting all those Widow Mines. And this is the last army. This is the last stand of the Terran player for STXO, trying to flank with the Marauders to take down those Thors. Here come the battle cruisers trying to eliminate the anti as fast as they can. The Widow Mines with their shots, but it's not enough.
It's not enough. But is this really going to turn the tide for Innovation? Can he really kill 100 supply of units with his battlecruisers?
The command center is gone to the left side. This is the only thing the Bomber really needed to do. Now there's no mining whatsoever anymore left for Innovation. The army supply is still at 130 against 47, and Bomber is building more and more anti-air. He's moving in with the rest of his units, trying to eliminate the few ground forces that we have for Innovation. And Innovation, he's trying to utilize his composition, but here come those Widow Mine shots.
Again, they ignore all armor, including battlecruiser armor. And one
doesn't get another one, but he can just run past them. He has the drilling claws upgrade. The battle cruisers against the Widow Mines, and bye-bye the Mana Mules, and GG!
This is StarTale Bomber.
Oh my god, 36 minutes.